Nice
We'll try
to
on
see you.
Periscope. I don't
Hey,
think anything
Carlo.
happens, though.
Hey, Nelson.
Ruth Carter, how are you?
Hey.
Bye,
Pondy, nice to
Scott
see you.
Pond. Tracy, good to see you, Scott Pond. George Beck, how you doing, sir? Nell Zone. Always have the Nell Zone. Hello, Jude. How are you,
Hey,
sir?
dude.
Well, you know what, baby? We've already got 14 people in here, and people are marveling at my handmade animation that I spent hours on today.
Well,
I did not go to Giphy.com and download a GIF. That's my animation.
Well, you can tell because it's just as high-end and classy as your logo, which you modified.
It looks real good. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. I may not be as loud as I normally am, and I'll tell you why. Yesterday was 420 day. And while that part went okay, you know, they talk about how 420 is a gateway drug. All the Republicans tell us it's going to corrupt our children. This child got corrupted. For some reason, a little bit of the 420 made me forget that you have to keep count of the number of scotches you have.
I don't even remember you having more
Apparently,
than one.
I had more than one. Maybe 2 more than one. I don't know. But this morning was some rough going. I have this app. Let me show everybody. It's really kind of cool.
I did not have this problem,
I have
which
this
is
app
amazing.
just called Streaks. Of course, it's in orange and black. It's real simple. You set up like 10 things you want to do streaks on. They could be daily. They could be weekly. Anything like that. One of mine is get out of bed at 6 a.m. I did not meet that streak today.
What time did you get up?
It was like 7, and it was a painful 7 too. It was not fun at all. Zero fun going on in that 7.
Oops. I didn't fare quite as poorly. I did text our good friend Amy Reed.
Okay.
10,000 times about the impending dog pack visit. We tomorrow are going to receive. Amy is, of course, the goddamn dog sitter, and she and her husband Jim are delivering their 2 dogs to our house for the weekend.
Okay.
Starting tomorrow at around 1:00.
Wow,
And so I'm super duper excited about that. And Cordy is a puppy. One of their dogs is named Cordelia, and she's a puppy, And they stayed last month for just one night, just so we could test it. And now they're going to stay for the weekend. And I was high because it was 420. And I texted Amy about how excited I was and emailed her, like, I think maybe 10 times. And all of them say, like, all caps, so excite. Or they say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Also, I love you. Also, I'm so excited. Like, they're ludicrous and very fun.
Hello, Chorkman from Twitch. How are you? David Lamb, Mike Nastasi, Mike Thomas. We got a lot of mics in the house today.
Yeah. Should we do a mic check?
What?
Everybody named Mike, please comment.
Mic check.
Thank you for this
let's go
mic
over
check.
what we got going for you today. It's going to be a little bit of a laid-back show, but that's all right. We have empty side updates. We have This Week in Siglerism. No, we don't. No, not This Week in Siglerism this week. We've got Siglerbrations. We've got Pupdates. We got Junkie pics. And we're going to hopefully have time, do a whole bunch of questions and start to get caught up in their grad. Robin Taylor. Hello.
Hey, Robin.
Tracy, smartass, points out that now
we are the goddamn dog sitters.
That
Yes,
is correct.
we are.
That is correct. Let's go back to the main here. And I've already forgotten where we are at, sweetheart.
So we are going through, this is going to be a show a lot like last week. We have a handful of little video clips that we're thinking of making. We are, but not today. This is going to be the standard catching, and we haven't done it for quite a while because we were watching videos and stuff like that. But
yeah.
Junkie pictures, dog pictures.
Michael Grace prefers Michael, so we have to do a Michael check. Not a mic check.
All right.
A mic check and a Michael check.
All right.
I think that's fine.
That's good.
I think that's fine.
Hey, Melissa, nice to see you. Mike, nice to see you as well.
Let's go through the bookkeeping, the regular stuff. When I say bookkeeping, that's actually a clever phrase. It's time for bookkeeping, ladies and gentlemen. Because we're going to talk about books.
Yeah.
Because I'm an author. Coming up this weekend, we are going to have the Gangster episode number 21. I'm not going to lie to you. We are now at the point in the book where the
Ken
Moberly in the house.
Yeah. Hey,
Ken Moberly. Went to high school with Ken. Great guy. We're now at the point in the story where the shit hits the fan. I'll pay the $1 fine for that. The defecation hitting the rotary oscillator. Episode number 21. Bad things start to happen to Quentin Barnes and many people around him. And pretty much for the rest of the book, it is not an exciting thing to be a character in the book from here on out.
I mean, it is an exciting thing to be reading the book, though. So
it is.
Certainly get that on. Get that going if you haven't already. And if you guys are just listening to the podcast, we're keeping up just so that you get them on Sunday for sure. We got an email. We were a little late on this past Sunday, and somebody was like, "Dude, I need my fix."
Well, we got it. Yeah. If you missed our Story Smack Dust Till Dawn, we've got the audio version over at ScottSigler.com. That will also be in your podcast feed. And then, of course, the Gangster going back. We did Caddyshack, Gangster 18, Story Smack 65 was Big Trouble in Little China. And we're going to talk about the Story Smack we got coming up. Super fun. But I just want to, once again, you guys came through for us so big in the reviews for Mount Fitzroy. It was so fun. We tried to get to 1,000. We tried to get to 2,000. We are at, can you see it, Babe? 2,059. 2,059. And thank you all so much. That is so kind of you to take your time to go leave a review. This is the carrot and the stick. Ready?
Yeah.
This is the carrot. You guys you're also fantastic for taking the time out of your busy, overworked day to go to Audible and leave us a review for Mount Fitzroy. It's very special to us, and it means the world, and we say thank you. That's the carrot. You ready? You ready for the stick?
I've been waiting for the stick. I don't know what the stick is, you guys.
The stick is, why is the Rookie only at 860 reviews? You sons of bitches! Get off your dead heinies and go to Audible. Go find the Rookie. Whether you read it or not on Audible, it doesn't matter because you all listen to the podcast, you all read the book. Throw a brother a couple reviews. I want to get it up over 1,000. We're at 860. You're embarrassing me in front of the lizards and the buzzards, Jerome, and I will not have it. I will not have it. That's called the carrot and stick, baby.
I was unprepared.
It's also a good cop, bad cop, except I didn't prepare A for, and A, of course, would be the good cop.
Yeah, I'm pretty much always the good cop. Let's be fair. I'm actually not even a I'm not really a cop. I'm just good. Like I'm just shiny and friendly.
He wants context to those review figures. Basically, Stephen King's probably most of the books are in the 25 to 50,000 reviews range. They're way up there. There's a number one, you have authors with a much broader fan base than I have. Number two is you get when you get the big book companies, the big five, they just turn on the money hose and promote stuff left and right. And my big promotion time, I think that was like over 10 years ago, and there wasn't this stuff. There wasn't,
and there's not that,
Audible,
of course. Now there's not, of course, big reviews for the Rookie because we are essentially self-publishing that. Even though we do an offset printing, it's still, I mean, those books exist in our storage unit. They live here, you know.
The Rookie gets caught in this weird twilight zone where it's selling fine, people are reading it, people are reviewing it, it's great. But that big initial push like we get for everybody reading Mount Fitzroy, being excited, they waited for it, they got it, they went and reviewed it, rated and reviewed it. Most of the people consume the Rookie did that, 12, 13 years ago. So people never even stopped to think, hey, let's just go to Audible, leave reviews, go to Amazon, leave a review. But now you're thinking about it because now it's carrot and stick time. It's stick and carrot is what it is. Jay Radmus says sound dropped out on Twitch. We can't control that. He can't hear us say that. But you're getting your second shot. Jared Adams, if we're back with the audio,
and you guys all know this is Jared Miller. Sometimes he's on Facebook, and he's Jared Miller on Facebook. He's on Twitch as J Radmus. But good. I hope you don't have a ton of side effects. I had a lot worse side effects for my second dose, but they lasted only one day, so I will take them.
And Boz, to sum that up, to be any kind of an indie publisher like we are with the Rookie or on Fitzroy, et cetera, and get that numbers of views, we're really punching above our weight class. We're doing great. So, guys like Nicholas Hansberry Smith with the Helldiver series usually start out at probably like 15,000 reviews, and then that gradually drops as the series progresses. But most of my contemporaries at that range, if you're hitting it out of the park, if you get 10,000 views on something like we have over that for Earthcore, that is a giant home run, and people in the industry take notice, and it's a big deal. So we appreciate that.
And the industry is sort of built on numbers, sort of built on like your first book. They're going to give you the most, what I'll call the benefit of the doubt. And so if that does really well, and say you get 10,000 reviews, they're sort of actually finding, or like expecting the next time maybe you'll get 7,000, and the time after that maybe you'll get 5,000.
Use about 25% every time. Robin Taylor loves the money hose. And for as much as I think in dirty-minded thoughts all the time, I've never thought about the money HOES hose. So thank you, Robin. Thank you very much. Let's get through stuff. Let's go to,
we're 8 minutes in. We're doing great.
We're rocking and rolling. Yeah. Wait, you guys. Wait. We just did a story smack on Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. If you're watching on Facebook, you just got to scroll down and find that. So much fun. We dropped so much knowledge about that movie and stuff that you did not know. It's great. Rob Otto was on the show as always.
Always delightful.
Rob Otto always brings his giant swollen pair of knowledge, and it goes over pretty. I had so much fun. Love that movie. I've always loved that movie. I don't know, Ken Moberly was still in the house. I don't know if we went to the theater to see that together or not. I know I saw it with Rob. It's hard to remember. I know we watched it on VHS several times. But this week, you guys, coming up, no, not this week. On May the 1st, which is almost May the 4th, we're doing my favorite Star Wars movie outside of the original trilogy, which is Rogue One, which is a movie that is deeply rooted in the lore of old Star Trek, or Star Wars, not the new Star Wars. New Star Wars is a different animal, but if you grew up on the old Star Wars, Rogue One is written by people who also grew up on the old Star Wars trilogy. It's one of my favorites. It is basically Star Wars as a World War II war movie, and I'm super excited. Rob Otto is going to join us for this as well. I cannot wait to hear all the cool stuff Rob Otto has dug up about Rogue One. If you guys have not watched Rogue One and you're Star Wars fans, for shame, go watch it. It is this amazing piece of writing work that threads together all of this disparate stuff that Spielberg's just throwing against the wall and making cool stuff. They find a way to thread hundreds of things together in a logical narrative that makes sense, that matches the timeline. It not only is that hard to do, it's almost impossible to find someone willing to pay a movie that does that actually respects the source material, puts it together correctly, and it all makes sense. So that's why Rogue One is absolutely a giant rarity. We hope you guys join us for it. That is going to be Saturday. Oh, sorry, Saturday. Is that right? 5/17.
It's May 1st.
I totally screwed that up, you guys.
It's May 1st.
We'll get it right next week. That is May 1st. I wonder what I did wrong with that header.
Because we just did 417, so you just didn't.
It.
Yeah,
I thought I replaced it, but I did not.
So I'll also say, since he brought up 417, every other Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, we go live right where you're watching this, and we do a story smack. We tend to pick movies. We are not a cinematic review podcast exactly. We pick movies that we like, that we think you might like. We resist the urge to watch terrible movies because you would have to watch them to enjoy the cast, and we're not a movie. That's kind of not our jam for the podcast. Right. But we do have fun. Adding Rob Otto elevated the entire Story Smack process to be a whole lot more interactive and fun. He brings so much knowledge. He's such a cinephile. If you have never heard them, you can go to the website, scottsigler.com. Just grab one, listen to it if you'd like it. We do a video version where you get to chat with us just like you're doing now.
He's so good at bringing the knowledge that made me stop making fun of him. Which
yeah, well, and that's not surprising for me anyway.
I have not stopped making fun of Rob Otto since
I'm not down for those
seventh
things.
grade. Since the seventh grade.
Yeah.
But
Ken Moberly is one of your friends who I have not yet had the pleasure to meet in person.
Hopefully
Although
someday.
I feel like from we're like friends on Instagram, and I hear you talk
God.
about stories about him and stuff like that. And I actually think that Ken and I would get along really well because you seem like a very lovely human being. Like you just want to hang out, love life, love your fam, all that stuff, and I'm down.
Yeah, you're totally A's kind of person. If you could post your TikTok link or TikTok handle in the chat so people who follow the Talks of the Ticks can go watch that. Ken's TikTok handle is the most bizarre, crazy, just loving life, joyful life.
Yeah.
But Ken's a great dude. So.
Last year, probably not. It wasn't this time last year, but it was sort of later in the summer. I think at some point, if you you can relate to this, you would have had the same problem. Maybe at the end of the summer last year, especially if you're like not a human who can do their own hair. Like Scott can.
I do my own hair.
That's what I'm saying. If you can't,
oh, I see.
Then by like the end of the summer last year, you were like, oh my God, you guys. And if you are a human who grows a beard, like Ken did, and like Scott does, and it was crazy because there's a transformation where we shave the beard and everything, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
This is the thing that I don't do. I don't grow a beard, so. The amount of, oh my God, that's the same human being is so fun with those. And I really enjoyed that.
Ken could have been like a karate movie Santa. He had the full beard, but still kind of long and tall.
Mm-hmm,
He could have been like
and
Santa
the
whooping
serene
ass
smile,
on the Grinch.
like the serene smile kind of thing. Yeah. Anyhow, so we have a handful. Yeah, David Lamb. I agree with you. More Rob Otto. He's super fun.
Carlo, we maybe eventually we'll get to The Empire Strikes Back, but first we're going to do Rogue One. We're trying to find more recent movies.
Yep.
Because we've been doing these '80s movies forever.
Yeah,
do some more
we're
recent
old.
movies that the Utes can appreciate, and I'm gonna geek out on Rogue One because the writers in it, like we just watched Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh my gosh, you
did not spend an enormous amount of time watching the old Kong versus Godzilla movies, and that's fine. That's fine. But okay.
So we have a couple things just to sort of freeform talk about. I can't remember what exactly your handle is, but it's like Bronchosaurus, something like that. You ask great questions about Scott's music. We are going to talk about those in a minute.
Oh, Ken.
But but let us get through a few sort of free flowing things. We're going to do a lot of questions, and we're going to start with yours about his bass rig. So just hang tight.
Okay, good. You got that logged?
Yeah.
Then
So
let's move on to Siglerbrations, or
no, we're going to talk a little bit about. So we are both. I'm fully vaccinated. Well, I have another 10 days to be fully vaccinated, but I've had my second dose. Scott gets his second dose on Saturday. We have been, as you guys know, here. We've been with you. You've been watching us. We've been pretty much sitting here for 13 months, and then this past Friday night, we went for an al fresco dinner date.
Yes, we did.
You guys. And then on Monday, we went to a completely empty theater.
There were 3 other people. Of course, they were one row in front of us. Nice,
yeah, well, that's true.
nice
They did come.
planning,
Yeah, at
people.
the end there was that.
Nice planning.
And we saw Kong versus Godzilla. And
It's crazy.
And here's the
It's
crazy
crazy.
thing. I forgot. And you guys, I know Robin, Tracy, you talked about you have been to the movies. And for folks who have kind of spent their time like we have, mostly staying home, we had a ton of work to do. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
You forget how to people.
Oh, yeah.
You sort of forget how to human. Like you can't.
I was asking questions to the people in the row in front. I was like, did you fucking see that? Hey, did you fucking see that? Because all of a sudden I'm like 7 with no social graces whatsoever.
But also everything is different, right? So you go to the movies, you order ahead of time, you order your seats ahead of time. They block out the seats that are to your left or right. To be fair, it's a stadium seating kind of a theater, so they're already 6 feet away from you either way.
Kim, we had and now AMC is so. They are so service oriented on the edge of if you walk in, they're like, "Hey, can I smooch your butt for you?" Like we walk in, there's person behind the confectionery counter, what have you, is waiting for us because there's no one else there. And like, here's your giant tub of popcorn, and it was as big as my chest. It was huge. And then they like do the high sign, and they point to the guy who's working the soda fountain who pours us the soda. It's like we didn't touch nothing. It was great. It's like our own private theater. It was like being Kanye. We were like Kanye. We were Kim and Kanye for a little bit. Yeah.
There are so many things that I have never done on a date with my spouse. I have never done going to the movies. And again, I have no children, so this will be important for this. So I'm getting ready to go, and I'm like, all right, let me grab wipes. Let me grab some, little like alcohol swabs or something. Let me grab an extra mask in case somebody doesn't have one. Let me grab I don't need to bring gloves. No, I don't need to bring gloves. I don't need to bring rubber gloves. But I've never done that to go to the movies before. And I did all that. I did sneak in candy though.
Of course we did. Of course we did. Of course we did.
It's one of the few things I cheat on, but I do.
I'm not paying $27 for a bag of Reese's Pieces. It's not going to happen.
For me, I'm okay with if you patronize the concessions for some things, you could bring in a little because they don't sell my candy.
Let me tell you this real quick. So the best meal I ever had in my life. I got tell a story. Best meal I ever had in my life. I was in college. I was wrestling at 135 pounds, which is not very big. That is not a lot of weight for a male to carry. And I was second string. I could not beat the guy who was at 135. And then our 126-pounder got hurt. And my coach, Jared Klein, comes up to me 3 days from a tournament. Keep in mind, at 135, I was at 3.5% body fat, eating almost nothing all the time. My coach comes like, Scotty Joe. My middle name is not Joe. I have no idea why he called me Scotty Joe. Nobody knows but Tim. Scotty Joe, we got to get you down 126. You got to fill that slot. Yeah, I think you can do it. I think you got the crack. You can do it. You can do it. And you're just like, he would just, everything this guy did would get you so pumped up. I'm like, I can do it, coach. I can do it. So spent 3 days without food and water, working out 3 times a day in the rubber suits, in the sauna. You know, even when you get home from practice, you would go into the bathroom, the little one bathroom with two-person bedrooms on either side, college style. Crank up the hot water there, steam in there. And I was so emaciated, like when I talked, I could feel the skin stretching on my face. The point being, I made weight. And in college, you make weight the day before a tournament. And most colleges lie about the weight. Oh, yeah, he made weight. Not our coach. Our coach is like her. Rules all the time. So I get done, and to add to the humiliation, Coach Jer had this theory about blood being in inertia, in a non-moving state. So my buddy Scott Christian was there because we were wrestling together at the time. Scott Christian, Jer Klein, go to weigh in. When you are that close to making weight at any weight level in MMA or wrestling, you weigh in buck naked because that weight is too much. You're trying to get down to fractions of an ounce. So I had to weigh in buck naked in front of Coach Scott Christian, and I didn't quite make weight as a time it off. And Jared goes, all right, Scotty Joe, what we got to do is we got to get that blood. We got to get, what is inertia the word I'm looking for? I can't remember. His theory was if you stand on your head, all the blood rushes to the top of your body. And if you stand up real quick and onto the scale, while that blood is in free fall, it has no weight. So this was Jared's theory.
Wow.
I am so wiped out from cutting all this weight that I go to stand up on my head and I can't. Scott Christian has to hold my ankle. I'm naked. My pal's holding my ankle. Then when I went to stand up, fell over. He had to pick me up, put me on the scale, and then we backed up and watched and just made the weight. I made weight. Made weight. Then we go to the commissary, the college commissary. And I remember I haven't eaten or drank in 3 days. And they literally kept the commissary open just for me. And I show up at 11 o'clock at night, and they serve me a plate of chicken on a biscuit, crappy-ass college chicken on a biscuit. And I ate the chicken on a biscuit, and I remember from the first bite, I was like, oh, my God. I've never had anything so good. And I can't chew fast because my skin is all the time.
I am uncomfortable with everything about this.
It's so good. May I have a sip of water? Oh, my God. No. Oh, my God. The water's so good. It's so good. And this was the best meal I've ever had in my life. I tell you that story to tell you this.
Okay.
We went out to dinner after 13 months. And keep in mind, my girl is a Mac Daddy cook. She cooks stuff all the time. It's great. We're like eating smart, eating healthy, and everything's delicious and wonderful. And I'm super surprised by every dinner. It's not the same as going out to a fancy restaurant after you've not gone out for 13 months.
It is true.
That was the second best meal I ever had.
Oh my
we
goodness.
told every serving person, the manager, the assistant manager,
have
you fucking tried this shit? Seriously, have some of mine. This shit's unreal. Try it. It's so goddamn good.
I do love that you were willing to share your death row meal because it was just that good.
Yeah, it was
also,
so good.
Can I just say this? This entire time I've known you, I have known that you did idiotic things in the name of sports in your education career. I will say this. I need to point out to your 50-something self who survived that, that you didn't eat or even drink water for 3 days.
3 days. 3 days.
In service of an adult human being.
Yeah. No, it was in service of war.
Well, hang on.
War, dog.
An adult human being who thought blood inertia was a thing.
Believed everything Coach told me. Everything Coach told me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they don't let that,
and of course,
happen anymore.
I started cutting weight right about the time my growth spurt hit. So I believe I was genetically destined to be about 6'2", about 220, chew iron and shit nails. Richard, okay, there, I got it. It's another $1. It's another $1. I'm all excited. I was cutting all the weight. Minus $1 for war, dog. I was cutting all the weight at a time when I was supposed to be growing, so that is part of the reason I am as teeny as I am now. But I have another reason I'm teeny, which we're going to show you later in the Junkie pictures.
All right, sounds good.
I added one. All right, let's get on with it. We are Siglerbrations.
We are in Siglerbrations, you guys. This is I knocked the table.
That's all right. Here we go.
So we are starting with our good friend And opening act for Siglerfest, Steve Bickle.
Stand-up
Steve Voodoo
comedian
Bickle
Stu
has
Voodoo
a birthday
Bickle.
today. I hope it's a terrific
I
one.
just called him Stu Voodoo Bickle, but
Try it
you
again.
can take that if you want. If you want to be Stuve, I won't even charge you.
For free. He's a writer.
Yep.
Let's see. Also, April Cheney's birthday. Happy birthday to you, April. I hope it was a great one.
Happy birthday.
Stephen Roth in Australia. He was super instrumental in getting Scott there in 2010. He's a lovely human being. He had a
Great
birthday
dude.
today, but today is tomorrow in Australia. So belated birthday wishes from the past to the future.
All right. All right.
Shelba Pittman has a birthday,
Happy birthday,
on
Shelba.
Sunday, and I am going to hope that Mr. Bowser takes good care of you that day because
Hope
he's
so.
a cute spatoots and he should. Sunday is Jackie Balzer Ross's birthday,
Jackie
who is he's a lifelong friend of Scott's.
Yeah, I used to babysit Jackie Balls. You can believe that crap?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Getting
So-
old is crazy.
It is also this week Medical Laboratory Professionals Week. And we have in the chat room right now, we have Sherry Hare, who is a medical laboratory professional. And she has probably had a little bit of a not patient-facing time in the last year, but I bet she's been overwhelmed as well, even if she's not doing emergency medicine. Because everybody who is, every hospital has been overwhelmed as well. So for
Yep.
medical, if you know any lab tech, phlebotomist, assayist, anything like that, congratulations. Oh my goodness, you guys have had a hell of a year too.
You guys are serious gangsters. The people who
Sherry
stayed
is
in.
there. Hey, Sherry.
People who've stayed in and been putting in the time during all this, as we have so many people who are like, there's no pandemic. Everything is fine. Nobody's actually sick. The hospitals are empty. Everyone I know who works in a hospital would beg to differ. Would greatly beg to differ. So thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. So we do have a couple more things, but those are going
That's
to be in the photos and
All
stuff.
right.
So we're going to go for that, which means we are moving on. Before I say that, let me do it this way. info@emptyset.com. You see it right there. Info@emptyset.com.
It's right with all my toys.
This is how
all
you
my
send us
toys.
information about anything. You have a question about the gangster. You want to celebrate your big toe for Sigler-in-Place next week. Don't care. Info@emptyset. The best way. I am terrible at checking my Facebook DMs. And a lot of times you guys will text me there if you see me online, and I don't check them because that is a pit of snakes, and I normally don't. So if you want, email me at info@emptyset. If you happen to have my cell phone number or something like that, you're absolutely welcome to text me if you've been to a Siglerfest. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the best way to get to me is actually do the thing I'm asking you to get to me. Moving on. This week, our nonprofit sponsor, as
Here
you
we
know,
go.
every
We
single
switch
week.
the camera back to you, and every single week we do a sponsor. Sponsors who pay us giant bags of money so that I can bathe in coins like Scrooge McDuck.
Yes, we feature somebody.
Oops. Go ahead, baby.
We feature something where they are servicing. They're a nonprofit. They're a 501c3 charity. This one is Path.org. Path is a global team of innovators who are accelerating access, what they call health equity. So this is innovators already in the medical space, creating health equity so people and communities can thrive no matter what their medical need is. They advise and partner with public institutions, businesses, and grassroots groups, also collect investors to solve the world's most pressing health challenges. During COVID, they have been doing all level of community health care, from setting up COVID treatment centers or facilitating treatment centers in existing hospitals that didn't have enough room for that. They are setting up non-COVID treatment centers. So if you are definitely proven COVID-free, you can go recover or go to rehab. As you guys know from last week, my mom took a fall on Easter Sunday. She's in a COVID-free rehab facility. She has to be tested frequently, and I can go to the facility and stand outside her window because it's on the first floor and call her on her cell phone so she can see me talking to her. But I can't even open the window. They're that serious
It's a
about it.
bummer.
So
Yep.
Path.org does a lot of helping communities that do have some safe areas stay safe as well. They work with all sorts of community health initiatives like clean water, access to food, growing crops, knowing how to grow crops in your particular environment. It's a science-based organization. They are terrific, and so we're sponsoring them. They are in 70 countries around the world and expanding every day.
All right, now we're moving on to everybody knows is the best part of the show by far. By far.
Before we do that, I will say, Kim, I forgot that you missed last week. My mom is recovering. She's doing okay. She's in a lot of trouble. She broke 7 ribs.
Yeah.
So she's resting, and I'm a lot like my mom. So she's not all that happy to be sitting on her tuchus doing nothing, but she is doing that.
Some more good luck with your shot. Thank you very much for getting your shot.
Woo-hoo.
Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Courtney beat us to it. Courtney knows. The best part of the show is none other than the pup date. The pup date where we get to talk about our pups. It's a pup date. It's a pup date. We got a couple little dogs and we take some pictures because we're not doing anything right now. So we show off our dogs. Boop, boop. And there is Reese Peace in the bottom right, who will be watching you throughout this segment. Reese will be watching with her little teeth sticking out.
Little top
little
niblets.
Teeths. And just the sweetest dog in the whole wide world. And now, of course, we do one small pup pick, which is in the bottom right. That's a small pick. And we do one big pup pick. And today, John, I'm sorry to hear that about your dog, but here we go. Draw some joy, if you can, from this trio. Here we are with the HR committee getting together. They have brought some concerns to the attention of the CEO. They're a little bit upset about the amount of treats being offered during the work hours.
This is one of my favorite photos. If you guys are relatively new to us, if you sort of started watching us in person on SIGLERinPLACE, we moved in May of last year out of we had an empty set office in downtown San Diego. And this condo as well. And we moved out of that space last year during the pandemic because we spent 3 months paying for it and not being able to visit. This was taken at what we affectionately called the Lair of Doom years ago. This was probably 2016 because Squeaky is so tiny, which means she had to be new. And that is a poured concrete floor, and they were very happy to tear up that entire place for days and days and days. This is the same dogs who are, or one of them, the little black one in the front, is showing up tomorrow to stay for the weekend with her new baby sister. I love this photo so much. We have it in our dining room as well.
It's great. And then, of course, we don't just show our pets. We show some wonderful pets by the Junkies. And let's take a look. Oh, I have the backward.
That's okay. That's okay. We can do it this way. This is Tika. Tika, Samor Jurabachi is in the chat room now. This is Tika from the last, I think it was literally last Wednesday.
Okay.
She says, she was being extra cute tonight. Now that the days are longer, she wants to play ball constantly. She's a total ball hog. She even has both Red Sox and Bruins jerseys. She's still working on running the plays that we call. But she is a cutie patootie.
And then, of course, we have a lovely photo which will raise all of your spirits.
Yeah.
There we
go.
go.
This is actually a Siglerbration as well. This is our own Big John Vizcara. Big John Vizcara is the continuity czar at Empty Set. He's a great good friend of ours. You guys all know him. You guys all love him. And this particular photo is of John and a dog he does not own. Her name is Juvie. And he says, I have a Siglerbration this week. 4/18 was my last day of chemo. I did it. I made it through.
Shabam.
Now let the healing begin so I can get to my next medical issues that I have to handle. Because that's how this happens.
Look at this sweet girl. Just like, hello, can I help you recover? I would love to do that on your lap.
He says, I honestly think the toughest part is behind me, and I wanted to thank A and Scott, as well as the innumerable junkies who have shown their support during this difficult and frightening time for me and Kim. This Siglerbration also comes with an honorary junkie pet picture, although she's not my personal pet. Juvie is the comfort companion at my chemotherapy infusion center. She helps bring a smile to me and many others during a time when not much smiling can happen. This is a picture of her on my lap during our last infusion. Yay!
Sweet dog, sweet buddy.
I love it so much.
Sweet
She's
human,
so
sweet dog.
cute. Look at that cute little puppy.
So great.
And
so
I
great.
love that if you look at John's hand that's touching her, you can see she has a name tag from the hospital. Like she has a little laminated name tag, and I have zoomed into that photo, and I'm pretty sure it says Juvie. I love it so much.
That's fantastic. All right, now
we have other.
We do?
Oh no, we don't. I'm sorry.
No, we don't.
We don't?
We have some great junkie picks, including one I threw in for myself. A little family celebration of my own. And then I think we're the whole last 25 minutes, so it's going to be nothing but questions. And I logged a couple of questions, and we're going to get into it.
Yeah, but we did say tomorrow is Earth Day.
Yeah.
So we are moving on.
Earth Car Day.
We have been doing SIGLERinPLACE for so long that this marks a turning point. Now I'm picking any holiday that works this week, you guys. Because otherwise it would have been like, sorry, I forgot to make the tea day or something. It's getting a little thin on the ground. So tomorrow is actually Earth Day. Earth Day is kind of fun. My brother, who is in the chat room, Jude is my brother, if you guys don't know that. He texted me this morning and was like, wait, snap, I think Mom took me to the first Earth Day in 1970, which I think is true, and I wasn't alive yet. My mom, Zippy, is quite a hippie, or was quite a hippie back in the day. Very into Earth Day, very into, like, celebrating. This has actually become a thing. Jude as well. Jude spent an enormous amount of time in California, and he volunteered a lot on Earth Day, because I don't think there's going to be a celebration tomorrow at Balboa Park, which is the community park in San Diego, but he would volunteer every day, or every Earth Day doing electronics and stuff. So that's kind of a fun thing.
Sure.
For me, I would like to get out and see the Earth for Earth Day next year, maybe. I'm glad we still have
I'd
an
like
Earth.
to see any part of the Earth that is not the lap I walk around our condo.
Exactly
Our
right.
condo complex. It'd be great. That'd
But
be great.
I appreciate Mother taking care of us this incredibly weird, crazy year.
Okay, fabulous. Now let's go to, it's time for Junkie Pictures. These are pictures of the junkies themselves who send them in celebrating all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
and
the
I'm
first
very
one.
excited about the first one.
Yay,
Very excited about the
you
first one.
guys.
Hello.
Hello, Munchkin Pond.
Munchkin
if you
Pond.
guys don't know, Scott Pond is in the chat room. He is the in-house empty set graphic designer. He and his wife Tori do an enormous amount of work and help and friendship for Empty Set. This is their daughter. They call her the Munchkin online, and the Munchkin made her varsity school softball team this week.
And she did not have to go 3 days without food and water to do it. So
No.
kudos to you.
And look
young
at the
woman.
number she just randomly got assigned.
I didn't even catch that before. I randomly
Her
got
jersey
number 10.
number is number 10, just like our boy Quentin Barnes.
Just like Quentin Barnes.
Munchkin,
Fantastic.
congratulations.
Congratulations. It's a huge accomplishment. I was following on social media. I saw you were just busting your hump all the time. You've been busting your hump in all the sports, putting a lot of extra time, a lot of extra reps. I'm glad that paid off. I hope you work your butt off this season, but I hope you also savor every moment of it, because when it's gone, it's gone.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the stuff. It's good times. Good
And
times.
we are always so proud of you. I know that you participate so fully in your new school experience and softball and volleyball and school spirit and all that stuff. And it's hugely motivating because we get to watch you and live vicariously doing
Yep.
things outside of the house that we
Dig in
never
and
get to
enjoy.
do.
Dig in and enjoy.
Congratulations. You should be super proud of yourself.
And
Munchkin.
our next one is, hey, look at that.
So this is
Great
Mike.
shot.
This is Mike. Mike lives in Alaska, and he watches, and he might even be in the chat room. I'm not sure. And he says, celebrating going home. He sent this in yesterday. He said, celebrating going home tomorrow after a 3-week stint of work in Prudhoe Bay, the
Okay.
very, very top of Alaska.
Awesome.
Representing the Krakens in ice storm territory.
Yeah, buddy.
At negative 25 degrees today. Negative 25 degrees, and he's out in shirt sleeves.
Looking
What?
ripped in shirt
I
sleeves,
know,
too.
he's beautiful. Yes,
He's ripped.
and happy, but oh my goodness. He says, I might just might be the most northern junkie at 70 degrees. I'm not giving you the
I don't
whole
think you get much more
coordinates.
northern than
Yeah,
that.
I don't
Can
think
you?
so. No, I don't think you can.
Okay.
So congratulations and go Krakens. That's a great picture. Thank you
So
for
when
sending
he
it,
says
Mike.
when he says top of the world, Ma, he's not screwing around.
Right. And
Right,
also,
right.
I will tell you, Mike got that T-shirt in the Empty Set sale.
Oh,
the Empty
good
Set sale
stuff,
is
good
still
stuff.
going on for the rest of April. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Only XLs and smaller are left, and not terribly many of those.
We're working on it though. We're working
We
on it.
do. I've gotten a lot of questions in the last week or so.
Mike says he photoshopped the muscles.
Ah,
I don't
Mike,
think
you're
so,
there.
Mike.
Hello.
I don't think you did.
I thought you would be in here. Hello. If you didn't get T-shirts and you wanted to get T-shirts in the sale, or you're sad that your T-shirts are out of size, we are doing this to clear out so that we can ship the Gangster, which arrives next month. And after that, or in tandem with that, we will be launching new T-shirts in a different process. So if you have... If you can handle an XL or smaller, go take a look at what's left. There's not very many. I think there's McMurdo Murders, the Ruffland Ridgebacks. There's a couple of Buddha City Elites, and then I think it's just Sigler Danger Island from the last Sigler
That's at
Fest.
scottsigler.com/shop.
Shop.
Go
Yep.
check it out. And
Yep.
now next, what do we have here, baby?
Okay, so this is This is the lair I was talking about that we had to move out of last May. That is the Hall of Fame behind you guys. We are working on doing a tour of the new Lair of Doom, the This of Doom, where you'll see how that ended up. We tried to preserve that because we miss it. These are junkies who are also friends. They're San Diegans, or they were San Diegans at the time, all the way on. In the number 4 jersey on your screen, that is Von Wishstadt. He's a good friend of ours. He lives up in northern San Diego County.
Yep.
Obviously, Scott, you might not be able to tell from the crazy beard he still had. Yours is a little trimmed down now.
This was the beard that was on its way to my Ken Moberly Santa beard. And,
but I like the forked beard was so fun
long.
too.
Yeah.
And I can say this now that we're married.
Pre-forked
Like
beard.
it was fun and sexy. You know, I mean, you're still sexy, but that was still pretty fun too.
We do have a baby goat. That's correct.
We do. We have and so we have also, these are the McArdles. If you see Kelly and Jerry McArdle, they're super active on Sigler Junkies. They're sometimes in here. Jerry and I are good. Well, both of those folks are good friends of ours. Jerry and I chat a lot, and she says it's hard sometimes. Oh, so do Kelly and I, because they miss us, and we miss them. So I'm not sure if they're in the chat room, but they're lovely.
Great selection of junkie facial hair. We got Vaughn with the soul patch, and then we have me with a beard, and we have Kelly with the snidely whiplash. It was everybody won. Mm-hmm. Next picture.
Oh, no, before you move that, you just reminded me. Beth and somebody else asked what my favorite candy is. It's Chewy Nerds. Chewy Nerds.
Chewy Nerds. There you go. What do we have here, babe?
Oh, okay. So you guys, this is John Compton. His dad, Steve, sent this in after we did the Story Smack on Saturday saying, I don't even know why I didn't think about this. This is John. Last year, when schools just went home for COVID, they had like a spirit day, dress as your favorite movie character. And John chose Ted Theodore Logan. And he says, Steve says hang on. The 6th string is just a prop, but he does play a mean tenor saxophone.
Lovely.
And then Steve says once if you guys don't know this, I love San Dimas High School football rules as the way to get out of an awkward situation. And Steve says once he's an engineer, and once he put in a report just as San Dimas High School football rules deep in coding to see if anybody would see it, and his senior engineer did so.
That's fabulous.
Excellent.
That's fabulous. That looks like a Yamaha guitar to me.
I love that picture.
That Pacific blue is gorgeous.
I know. And John is also just for his first time headed through the GFL, and just got for Easter he got the rookie from his pops.
Right. And then the next picture. This is the reason I'm so damn tiny. If you guys did not see this in my social media postings, you should be following me at Scott Sigler, basically everywhere. But if you look at this picture from I believe it's 1953 is the best I've been able to date this. The gentleman front and center with the large people on either side of him, that is Irvin Charles Joseph Sigler I. That is my grandfather. He was the head coach of Our Lady of Lourdes semi-pro football team in River Rouge, Michigan. This is the days before, as I understand it, this is before high schools all had football teams and sports in general. I'm not really sure what was going on back then, but not everybody had it. So there's some high school people on this team. The team was based in a high school, but there were also people who were getting paid to play football. So that's semi-pro football. And Tiny Grandpa is right there in the middle, head coach.
Stirring things up.
Must have been 27, 28, 29.
Nelson's right. Leatherheads, look.
And and he also played football back in his day. My dad told me this as I was dating the picture. Dad's like, yeah, Grandpa was a really tough football player. Almost went semi-pro. I'm like, Dad, he's smaller than I am. He's like, well, people weren't as big back then. He's like, if you weighed $135, $145, you could compete in college at that weight. Most linemen, the average lineman weight was like 243 way back then. Now the average NFL lineman is, I think, over 320 now. It might be up to 330. So just a completely different style of game. But I want to share this picture with you. I found this, and I thought you guys might like to see why I'm so teeny, and that's my teeny grandpa in a time when people weren't as big.
The original of this photo also hangs in our home.
It does. All right, so that is we jibber jab too long, you guys. I'm sorry. I think it's time for questions, sweetheart.
Yeah. We're gonna start, like I said, with a question that came in the chat room earlier, which is it's a compound question. I'll ask them all so you can answer them whole cloth.
All right.
What bases do you have?
Oh, Jesus.
What rig do you play through?
Oh, Jesus.
And do you set aside time to jam or make time to jam ever?
Start with the last one first, as my brain tries to catalog the other ones because I haven't had my rig out in so long. Can you look up what kind of orange amp that is? I don't know if you can look that up. Anyways, here's what. Let's go.
Try.
Let's go through first. I am now making time to play. I try and play for 45 minutes every morning before I write, because my band Super Weapon is I play bass and sing, and I am not. I can be a frontman, I can be a bass player. I've never done both at the same time. So now learning to sing and play our songs and do so without thinking about it takes a lot of work. And also I've been getting a lot of ADD therapy through BetterHelp.com. And a lot of what I'm being coached by a therapist is, find things that are going to immerse your brain away from the things that you normally do. And a lot of like brain teasers, math puzzles, things like that. I'm like, well, basically music theory is math. So I will go engage the musical side of my brain. So we think this is helping my writing, helping my organization, ADD. So I try and do that every morning. Get up at 6, then take care of business till 7, then 7 walk the pups, then come back and sit down and play for 45 minutes of practice that. So I am practicing a lot. I was doing a very intensive bass fretboard theory course to become, because I've always been, I can play really fast, play a bunch of cool things, but I don't always know exactly what I'm doing, which cuts you off at the knees as you start to advance in musicianship. So I was doing that, and now I'm doing all of the engineering and mixing and singing and bass playing for Super Weapon, so there's no time to be that detailed with the thing. So I do that, and then the weekends, hopefully I get to play a little, but most of the time I'm spending mixing songs, arranging songs for guitarist Severio Nawada and keyboardist Austin Farmer. And so that is the answer to that question. So I'm playing a lot more than I used to, and I'm very happy. As far as the number of basses I have, I've got a bunch of them. That is the one thing I allow myself to spoil myself on. Not into cars, we're not into material possessions all that much. There's really nothing that we blow our coin on, but I spend my money on bass guitars. I'm a left-handed 5-string bass player. Those are very hard to find. So now pretty much every time I publish a book, I go get a bass. So we've got 13 of them now. A couple two Music Man bongos, F, H, and HH, HS, and HH. I've got a new Sandberg being built. I've got a Sandberg California TM5, which is probably my favorite bass. I've got Warwicks, a bunch of Warwicks. I've got a couple Carvins. And then, of course, we've got a Music Man Stingray. I think that pretty much covers one big acoustic, which is really fun. And then as far as the, did you look up the orange thing?
I did not. We can show them that next week.
We'll show it next week. I've got this great rig. This orange is my favorite bass amp, orange and Ampeg. Got a rig. Was playing it all over the place. But I will tell you now that after blowing out my back and then also being in lockdown for 13 months, my new bass rig, which I will show you pictures of as well, weighs 18 pounds.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Because we moved into this place. I'm like, dude, I'm not carrying these. The orange amps weigh 55 pounds each, and carrying them upstairs with narrow turns. Asking for trouble. Like
I said, we're sort of planning on a tour sometime soon of this, but this is a townhouse. So there's two sets of stairs from the car where he would go to gig eventually. Of course, you'll have to load up the car.
Yep.
To this specific room. So that's quite a lot.
Well, if you want to make a note, baby, we could do a whole video show about all my bass stuff.
Yeah,
and you guys who are non-musicians would be bored out of your mind. Those of you who like to play anything would be very fascinated. A lot of fun gear, and we've moved to kind of an all-digital footprint now, which we're doing both. We're doing it for audiobooks.
Yeah.
We're doing it for recording, and it took a while for me to get used to it, but I love it because stuff weighs like 2 pounds. It's fabulous. Next question, babe.
I can't.
What?
Because we got called on the carpet.
For what?
We didn't do the question song.
Oh, shoot. You know what? You're right. As CEO of Empty Set Entertainment, I would like to apologize. We were not as sensitive as we should have been. We weren't really listening to our fan base.
Not listening.
And we want to make that right. Here at Empty Set Entertainment, we care about your user experience, and we want you to be happy and satisfied. And that is why we have questions. Oh, we got questions.
Oh,
we got a cat in a sombrero who likes to say, "K questions." Oh, we've got questions. We've got questions. We got K for you, K.
I love it. I love it.
We'll let that cat hang out there in a minute for a second. All right, go ahead, baby. Hit me with your question.
All right. So we do have, as ever, a whole bunch of movies. Sean Dyer asked, what does key raw audio sound like?
Key raw audio is just so the key are they're one of the non-human races in the Galactic Football League, and you'll be seeing them in the crypt as well, which they're not going to be friendly critters on a football field. And you see them in the crypt. And they have 6 legs, 4 arms. They're 10 feet long. They bend at about 6 feet, so there's about 4 feet sticking up. That has their 4 arms. And they speak out of vocal tubes, out of the top of their head, air compressed in their version of a diaphragm, forced through the body, out the vocal tubes. Very diplodocus, if you might want to know. And so that key is like, and I do have actual words. I feel ridiculous doing it right now. And you just throw a bunch of syllables together, write them down, be able to repeat them, keep a few key phrases. It's not like we're writing our own Klingon language. We're not that nerdy. I mean, we're nerdy, but not that nerdy. And then Ricky Berg puts a filter on that, and that is how you get the key language. But so a key language might be like, so I try and speak backwards like it's an old Zeppelin album.
But I think he's also asking, like,
voice.
yeah, what
That's
is
what
your raw voice? Not the words so much, because it's so
what
garbage.
it is.
Yeah, so it's like it's got a little fry
Yeah.
and a little rawness
Yep.
and a little
Yep.
throatiness in it.
A little throatiness, which I should not get fined $1 for that. That's not a swear word, technically.
Definitely not a swear word. Kim Hansen, who this week is in the chat room, even though last week I showed all her beautiful art. I'm glad you got to see it, though.
Okay.
She asks, did you ever go to drive-in theaters? And if so, what is your best, worst experience? And I have to tell you, I have an answer for this. I grew up in New York City and in Whitestone, New York, which was a Queens suburb.
Okay.
Or Bronx suburb, I guess. Or part of the Bronx. There was a drive-in theater, and we would go. My parents would take my brother and I. We would go, and I've seen a handful of movies. I know I saw Jaws there, and I know this is the story. I know I saw Orca, the Killer Whale there, and I don't think they were a double feature. Honestly, I don't. But I can't remember what else I've seen there because those were the only 2 movies that ever mattered. Jaws scared the bejesus out of me. And I watched, I think, maybe 20 seconds of it like this, right? But then I was a little bit older, I think, when I saw Orca the Killer Whale, and I didn't know, you heard a lot of hype about Jaws, and sharks sound scary.
Orca was a great flick, dude.
And Orca
Great flick.
was terrifying until it was heartbreaking.
It
was
was
so heartbreaking. And the thing is, it changed my ability to be able to watch. And I think I might have been 8, 9, 10. I was young. But it changed my ability to watch horror movies.
Oh, Vaughn, Jaws is straight legit, dude. Straight legit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
totally
legit. But I had
Gangster
known a lot
legit.
more about it, even at my young age. But Orca helped me understand that everyone's the hero of their own story, and there's a hero in every story, no matter who you choose.
God, just a heart.
Because Orca is the hero and is the villain. Jaws is the hero and the villain.
Jaws is a son of a bitch. Jaws just out.
No, not
Jaws
just
out
Jaws.
rampaging. Jaws is like the Jets and the Sharks. He's just looking for a fight all the time.
Oh, Jude, you're right. Orca was at
Orca. Was it Michael Caine? Is that right?
I can't remember, but what I remember is going, and Jude, who's in the chat room, he said it. It was at the drive-in in New Hampshire. We used to go to one vacation a year. We would always go to New Hampshire to the same motel, and I was terrified of Orca the Killer Whale. And Jude, who was my best friend and my worst enemy for the first 18 years of my life, we would fight so hard and play so hard and love so hard. Protected me.
Boz is dropping Orca knowledge. Good, yeah. Good,
until I realized that Orca wasn't the bad guy. That Orca, that Mama Orca, wasn't the bad guy. We were the bad guys.
I saw Orca in the drive-in theater too, at the Sheboygan Drive-In, and I will say that Orca was the first movie, except maybe for King Kong, but King Kong is kind of on the edge. Orca was the first movie where I didn't know who to root for. I'm like, wait, who is the bad guy here? And even at a young age, I couldn't quite understand, because Orca is perfectly justified fucking up the town. I'm sorry, I'm going to pay that fine too. Orca is perfect. Everybody, there's no bad guy in Orca. Everybody's except
for us.
Well, no, but yeah, like, and Anyways, I'm excited. We will probably do Howard. We probably do a story
if,
snack on
if
Orca
we
at
can
some point
find
down the
Orca
road.
to watch,
If we
because
can find
that's
it to
got to.
watch.
But it's interesting that you asked that question, Kim, because drive-ins were a very specific part of my childhood. And in case you guys don't know this, Jude, who is in the chat room, he is my brother. I know I said that.
Richard Harris. Thank you, Nelson.
We also, unfortunately, we spent a little bit of time in our adult life not interacting, not speaking to each other. And it was the part where my brother is always, on some level, my protector, even today. That is one of the things I miss so much. So when I saw your question, which came in a while ago, so if you guys have questions and you want to email to info@emptyset, we will get to them. That's the first thing I thought of. That this was the day that I learned that humans might not always be the heroes of the story, and I thought instantly of, I'm so glad that my brother and I are brother and sister and friends again, because he was always there for me. He literally was there, physically there for me. And I remember that about that drive-in movie.
All right, let's go to the next question. ¿Qué? ¿Qué?
So a while back, Bill Street, I must have mentioned that you run daily, or you run during the weekdays.
Was running,
and he says, how many days in a row? Now it's a different story.
Well, I pulled a hammy pretty bad. We should share pictures of that sometime too. No, it's my leg looked like a grape. It was pretty gross. The whole thing. So I pulled a hamstring and am, I guess, still in recovery, which is very difficult for somebody from my family upbringing, because you're like, rub some dirt on and get back in there. I can now, I think 3 times in my recovery, I've been able to actually run 1 single mile. There's still some kind of, something's gummed up in the leg, and my shin or calf gets like excruciatingly tired to the point where every step is like a 6 out of 10 pain. But you also at the same time, like, I know there's nothing actually wrong. It's just getting that muscle back into shape. But so I have 3 times I finished a mile. So now the goal is twice a week to get out and run 1 stinking mile, and then give it a day to recover. And hopefully it'll start to build up from there. That's all I got right now.
Yeah. So when we first looked it up, and Scott's injury first happened, it was a grade 2 hamstring tear. Grade 3 actually separates the hamstring from the bone and requires surgery to fix. And grade 1 just takes less time to heal and is less injurious. So that grade 2, it was 3 months to recover and 3 months to build your strength back up, which is 6 months, and it happened in December. So you're doing really well if you think about. Yeah, you're getting a little closer.
And Kim just asked if I'm doing physical therapy, to which I answered a bit of a smart ass answer. No, I'm not right now. I don't need to have that extra exposure. So hopefully after a couple months down the road, I'll go do some physical therapy.
And to be fair, when COVID started, I was still in therapy for my frozen shoulder, which is mostly done, but still a little frozen. And they evaluated my need and canceled my physical therapy. So who knows if you would have had that.
What do we got now?
Let's see.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I love it so much. I'm not a big cat person, but if I had one, I'd get it a sombrero. I would get that cat a sombrero.
Okay, Kim Hansen, also in the chat room, still asks a question on Cormorant Bumperpuff, along with the mention of how a captain would never be the first person to leave his ship and make contact with aliens. Bumperpuff sounds like he's channeling William Shatner or Captain Kirk. Was that intentional?
Absolutely. We were in the...
Absolutely.
We've done so many books now, and I've done, I'm going to guess, upwards of 200 individually voiced characters in the GFL, where we actually sit down and figure out, let's find an actor, usually a comedian. Let's find somebody with a distinct vocal pattern that I can emulate. And then sometimes I do a very good impression. Most times I do not, but that's not the goal. The goal is that bad impression of so-and-so gets me an original voice I would not have come up with on my own, because I've been I can't come up with voices in my own head anymore. They're all exhausted. So we have to go get a prompt. And A and I were in the first office of Doom.
Oh my goodness, that tiny space.
It was a tiny space in San Francisco, California, in an office building that was built in like 68, so it had no air conditioning, no nothing. It was hot as balls all the time. I used to have to go into the booth wearing nothing but shorts. nothing but shorts because I would sweat the whole time. We would stop between chapters, and they would hold a fan and just like blow the fan. And so we're doing that, and it's like I was training for wrestling. I'm sweating all the time. We're doing. I think it was the All Pro, maybe.
Is the All Pro when we got the block ice and you stood in the?
Yeah, we started to get a block of ice. We'd put it in a pot
in like
and
a little ramekin kind of a thing.
Set it in the floor of the recording booth, which has a lip about that high, so I could get a layer of cold air built up on the bottom of the recording booth. In order to finish, in order to record and be in there for more than 30 minutes at a time. We're in that, and I'm like, and I would come out like, baby, we weren't baby at the time.
Yeah, no.
I'd come out, hey, we gotta come up with some kind of, I need a voice. And then we'd go on Google and we'd look and like, how about this person? How about this person? And finally she's like, what about, well, he's the captain, right? I'm like, she's like, what about Captain Kirk? And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Because
this is gonna rock.
We can get in and out, and he doesn't have to practice that voice. Right now, we're recording the Stone Wolves. And Steve, if it's not appropriate to say in the chat room, can you text me who your favorite archetype is, who that character you're talking about is? Because you were very good about no spoilers. But we are currently recording the Stone Wolves, and we don't have all of those problems. But since he brought it up, I'm going to tell you that all pro recording, that was in, I think, August maybe or July in San Francisco.
It was
a billion degrees. We were not at all dating. We were nowhere near dating. And we would go, like we would do it, and we'd have to open the booth and let it cool off and open all the windows even though nothing was happening, put ice in and put like a fan behind a big block of ice so it would blow cold air into the room. And then he'd get in the booth and I'd be like, are you ready? And we're recording the Stone Wolves right this second. And, in the garage. He'll get in the booth, and I wear headphones, and I can hear that he's put on his headphones, and he's moving around. So I'll be like, are you ready? He'll be like, yes, let's go. But that summer, he'd be like, 1 minute. And he'd be bumble fucking around in there. Sorry, Richard. And then finally, after 3 days or 4 days maybe of the week that we were recording, it hit me, and I was like, are you getting naked in that booth? And his whole answer was, I'm still wearing underpants. But yes, it was so hot in there, and he would just come out pouring sweat. This poor dude had to not only take his clothes off once he got in there, he also, before he would be willing to come out, would have to get dressed.
Listen,
so after that, after I realized 3 days in that that's what he was doing, I was like, all right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to leave the one room office, Jesus, so you can just come out and be cool.
Yeah.
And get dressed.
I don't remember a lot about corporate America, but we were not involved at the time.
No.
Both married to other people. And I'm like, pretty sure if I come walking out of the recording booth sweaty and naked, there's going to have to be an HR report. That's not going to work out very well.
And we didn't even have Reese at the time, who was our HR director. So
if you guys ever go back and listen to the All Pro, which I'm pretty sure was the All Pro.
Yeah, it was definitely the All Pro.
Most of what you were hearing is me talking while I'm buck naked. So you got that going for you, which is nice.
So there's a couple of things to follow up on this now that we're us all together in 2021 through the pandemic. This is a way for all of you guys in the SIGLERinPLACE chat room to claim the FDO as one of your own, because he spent a lot of time pantsless, as you guys are mentioning. This is their favorite comment, is like, you definitely pantsless.
Steve Rickenberg says Bummerpuff was the MVP, and that's probably what it was. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let's do a couple more questions. I'm having fun. Let's do a couple more questions, and then we'll get. We're gonna go watch some TV.
Yeah. So
we're watching Resident Alien right now, which I love. I'm so shocked.
And Manifest. So Manifest is interesting because it's very by the book network TV. There's no surprises. There's
a lot of dramatic expressions.
Yeah, there's no surprises, and I mean that in both ways. There's no like quick turns of the plot that you wouldn't expect in a in a 42-minute thing. But it's also very by the book. It's very, if you watched and enjoyed Eureka, which was a comedy, and this is sort of a dark comedy, you might dig this sort of thing. We're enjoying that, but we're loving Resident Alien, sorry, and we're enjoying Manifest a lot. I have to go back though and say, Kyle Jacobson, so nice to see you out there. And one more, I asked Steve Rickenberg to text me who the character he's thinking of, and I agree with you. So tonight in the chat room, Steve said there is one voice that is his favorite so far in the GFL, and I'll be very plain spoken. I've said this 1,000 times before. John Tweedy's my favorite character that Scott's ever created. I love him like nobody's business. And if you're curious because I said that, I will also say Red Man is my favorite story he's ever written. That said, this character who you will meet this summer is off the charts, super duper fun, and is so. Beans? It is. We were neither Steve and I were willing to say the character because it would be too much in case that was a spoiler for you.
That's
so I'm
okay.
glad you said
That's
it.
Okay.
So there's a character in the Stonewolves. His name is Beans, and he rules. You guys rules.
I think you guys are gonna like Beans a lot. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. All right, let's do one more and see where we are time wise, baby.
Okay.
And I've reached a couple people in the room who are also bass players. Look, if you guys are a guitar player or if you are a bass player or any kind of instrument that you just like, a sax player or whatever, screw it. Send us a picture to info@emptyset of you with your favorite instrument and ham it up if you want, or just represent whatever, because there's nothing I like more than to geek out about music instruments. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Send a picture to info@emptyset.com. Please also include a description of the instrument, because that's the kind of stuff that I really get a kick out of. Everything from color, finish, when you bought it. Just go and throw a bunch of, you know all these details. Don't pretend like you don't. Don't pretend you don't know when you bought the damn instrument. Just send it to us and we'll geek out and have a good time.
Yeah, for sure. And it doesn't even have to be a bass guitar or a stringed instrument.
Kyle, yes, I would like you to have pants on. Thank you very much. That was what? That's a prescient, pertinent question, though. That's very germane to the conversation. It's like, send a picture of you with my instrument on. Should I have my pants on? Yes. Yes, you should.
And I'm not even lying to you guys. If your instrument is literally Tupperware or pots and pans in your kitchen and you're videotaping and showing us, if you do that and send it in, I'm showing it. If you sing the question song, it's all over but the crying.
Don't step on my stage.
That's my man.
Ladies
my man is like, that's fine, but no.
Questions. Oh, I've got questions. I've got a cat in a sombrero saying K questions. Don't step on my stage. I'm ever. All right, let's go.
Sean Dyer asks, who is the inspiration for Hokor the Hook Chest?
Well, a lot of you guys know this. Hokor the Hook Chest is a incredibly cartoony version of my dad. My dad, two-time state championship winning coach in Michigan, has helped literally thousands of young men and women kind of find themselves through athletics, and is just absolutely one of the best educators that has ever been. There's a large number of people are tied for that, but he's definitely up there. He's helped a ton of people. And playing football for my dad, if Ken Moberly's still in the room, Ken Moberly played football for my dad, as did Dr. Daniel Baker, PhD. And most of my friends, Rob Otto was not playing at the time. Rob Otto wrestled with us, but did not play. He had a certain mannerism and not only an expectation of personal excellence from everybody, but it was constantly this bar that was put in front of you. Like, everybody knows you are here. Everybody knows you're already here. You're this good, you're this smart, you're this hardworking. You're choosing to be down here. And if you want to, that's fine. But you are here and you belong here. Why aren't you elevating to where you were at? Never you're dumb. Never you're slow. Never you're weak. No negatives ever came out. It was always this kind of phrase. Like I was prep quarterback, so I had to learn every team's offense, a new offense every week to walk my way through it. And I would do something wrong and we'd be like, God damn it, Scott Sigler, you're smarter than this. Why? Everybody knows you're smarter than this. Why are you making this mistake when everybody knows you know how to do this already? Run it again. I'll tell you the run it again story another time. That's a whole different traumatic PTSD story for me, is run it again. But so Coach Hokor, the inspiration for Coach Hokor is my dad, but my dad with kind of the actual, the more visible emotional support stripped away. So Coach Hokor is nothing but you have the capacity to be the greatest of all time, and I will not coddle you. I will not rest. I will be on your ass until you are everything that you can be. So there you go.
And in case you guys are thinking from that question, if you are you have a comprehensive knowledge of the Siglerverse, there are very many moments of realness in the Siglerverse. And I'm not going to tell you all of them, but we have spoken plainly on this cast about Ma Tweedy having some characteristics, including her first name, with Carol Sigler. Carol Tweedy and Carol Sigler are somewhat a little less similar. Carol is tall and lovely and slight and gracious, and Ma is a little more always, well, Ma is short and her shoulders are up here, and she's almost always a little bit not to be barky.
Hey,
you know?
Coach Coon's actually in the room.
Oh, how
Assistant coach,
fun.
was it, who went on to be a very successful head
Hi,
coach
Coach
at the
Coon.
school we played for. And somebody posted like, "You're gonna run till you get tired of watching you run." And that was Coach Coon when Ken Moberly and I were playing for him. Coach Coon, and it was such awesome, amazing memories of my dad and Coach Coon. So it's super fun to see Coach Coon in the room.
Absolutely, yeah.
Coach Coon, you know, like it's hard to remember when you're that young, but Coach Coon was not all that much older than we were.
It's
at
so
the time.
hard. That's so
It's
hard
such
to know.
You look at
Yeah,
it,
you
you look
don't
back
know.
at it now, and it screws you the head to be like, wait a minute, I was 17. That dude was like 25. Wait, that's almost nothing. Now it's almost nothing. Back then, you're like, oh my God, Coach Coon is so awesome. You know,
Yeah.
you don't even realize it's the same
you know,
people.
when I was a senior in high school, I went on a spring break trip to Puerto Vallarta with my BFF. And when we showed up at the hotel, our journalism teacher was checking in also. And he almost absolutely died. Mr. McKay literally lost his mind. He was like,
How old was he?
we were 17. He was 23.
23.
23 on spring break in Puerto Vallarta with the two biggest nerds. I was the editor-in-chief of the newspaper, and my best friend Desiree was the editor-in-chief of the yearbook.
I bet every
And he was our coach for our faculty advisor for both. And that poor guy, literally, I'm not even kidding you, I'll never forget it. Like, he turned around from checking in and saw us. We didn't see him, and he
That's
went,
awesome.
"Why are you here?"
Can you?
Like, he
Thanks,
couldn't
Coach.
even handle it. It was great.
Can you imagine that being a 23? Like, I'm going to Puerto Vallarta. I'm going to drink. I'm going to see people. I'm going to
Chicks!
party. This is going to be great. And you show up and like, there's my high school junior newspaper editor who's in the same hotel. Oh,
Yeah, I'm a senior in high school and even more square than I am now. And we've been talking about that for an hour, how square I am. This poor guy was like, listen, you need to tell me which excursions you're on. Like, I can't.
Can't
And
do
we
it.
were like, no,
Can't
we
do
don't
it.
have money
Can't
for
do
any
it.
of that. And he was like, great. And we saw him not even one more time.
All right, so we're going to start finishing this up. Baby, we had a comment in the chat room from Robin Taylor who wanted to see high school pictures of us. Could we do that
can
for
do
next week?
Sure.
Next week, you're going to see the incredibly strapping, huge, and thickly muscled heartbreaker that was Scott Sigler in high school.
Oh, good. I thought you were talking about me.
Oh,
I was
my
like, I was
God.
none of those.
I look like I was chiseled out of stone. I'm not sure what kind of stone, but I was not exactly the same person I am right now in high school. But we're going to be happy to show you guys.
Yeah, we'll
see
do
if we
that
can
next
gather
week
up
for
some
you.
pictures, and we'll do that for you next week.
Pull out some young
Hey,
Scott and A photos.
You know what? And Ken Mobe, if you're still watching, throw a picture of you in high school to info@emptyset.com. Let's throw one in.
Yeah,
See if
we'll
we can
get
grab
some.
one from
Yeah.
Danny and Robbie and
Yeah, for
just
sure.
some of the regulars on the show. It'd be super fun.
And obviously, if any of you guys in the chat room would like to share your embarrassing photos from when you were a youngster, you can send them to info@emptyset. We can make an entire show of this. We'll show puppy pictures of the dogs. We'll do the whole thing.
Coach Coon says, I said, I'm cut out of stone. He's like, yeah, sandstone.
I've never met Coach Coon either, but I do dig him. I like it.
All right, darling. We are 10 minutes over, and we got some hanging out to do.
We do. You guys, thank you so much for staying with us all this time in. My goodness, what a crazy year and a half or year and a month or two it has been.
It's been a rough time. You're still all awesome. We're still coming out of it. A lot of states are in some very dire straits right now. Things are going to get a little bit worse before they get better. Stay smart. Oh, sorry. I jumped in.
That's okay.
Let's
No,
go.
but he made the right point. Like, things are changing quickly now, but still be smart, be safe, be careful when you go out. We went to the movies on Monday night, and the deal was if we walk in and either one of us is uncomfortable, we're just going to give up the
Peace,
money and
Coach.
walk away.
Yep.
And the nice thing about it is when we walked into the theater, there were signs on the door that said, if you're at all uncomfortable, just come see us. We'll give you a refund, which was great. So be smart, be careful. If you have any information that you would like to share with us, like childhood photos, please send those to info@emptyset.
And we'll be back on Wednesday, April 18th. That's not right, is it?
No. April 26th.
We'll be back
right?
on Wednesday, April 26th. I'm freaking excited about
Or
this.
April 25th, I guess.
April
it is.
26th.
Well, 26th is the pretzel day, but we're doing it the next.
Pretzel Day is April 26th. We're going to celebrate it on whatever
April
day.
28th.
April 28th is the next cast. A makes homemade pretzels. We're going to post the pretzel recipe to scottsigler.com as soon as possible.
Yep.
A's going to make pretzels, and I'm going to get to eat homemade pretzels on the show because we all know professional Pulitzer Prize-winning journalism is
Always be eating.
ABE. Always be eating on camera. It's very important.
So until not pretzel day next week, which is going to be Wednesday anyway, please, you guys, do everything you can to stay safe. We're almost done.
Stay smart.
Absolutely stay science.
And for the love of science, pay attention to scientists and stay informed. And until, and I think till next week from today.
Yeah.
There's no Story Smack this weekend.
No Story
A week
Smack.
from today. Until then, we will talk to you all real soon. And now I'm going to see if we can get, we have problems getting the show to turn off correctly.
Should we go to that camera so that you
let's
can
do that.
watch? Yeah, because we don't know what we're doing.
Goodbye, everybody.
We love you guys. We're so glad you stayed the
all-
course with us. We'll see you next Wednesday.
You will all run laps until I get tired of watching it. Coach Goon, Prep D. Here we
Ken,
go.
so nice to hang out with you. Jude, so nice to hang out with you.
Ready?
Yep.
Mm.